What's up, you guys? Today we are going to talk about a company that went public through the SPAC mergers, and you guys know that I don't like SPAC mergers, but this one was different. Today we are going to talk about BarkBox stock, ticker symbol BARK or Bark, and find out why there's so many people talking about this company right now. If you're new to my channel, which it says that 69% of you watching are new and are not subscribed, please consider subscribing and smashing that like button since it really helps the channel out with the YouTube algorithm. But let's get started. First of all, what is BarkBox? I learned from BarkBox last year before all the SPAC merger news came out because of one of my favorite dogs and traveler YouTubers, Trev and Chels, as they have two dogs and BarkBox is sponsoring them right now. But basically, BarkBox is a monthly subscription service where you get a box with different things for your dog delivered to your door, and it includes 2 themed toys, 2 bags of treats, and 1 chew, plus the extra toy of the month club for an extra fee unless you use a referral link like theirs. That BarkBox is $23 a month. Then they have a super chewer, which includes stuffer toys, treats, and chewed for $30 a month, which is more for big dogs. They also have a subscription service called Bright, which is for dogs' health wellness, as it includes 1 monthly supply of dental sticks, toothpaste, and compliments from your vet for as low as $1 a day. Then they also have Bark It's, which is a custom meal for every dog crafted by nutritionists and delivered to your door in perfect portions. Lastly, they have Bark Home, which is all the home necessity for dogs such as beds, collar, leashes, and many more. Now, they went public through a SPAC merger with a company called Northern Star Acquisition Corp. At the time of the announcement, Northern Star estimated the enterprise value of Bark to be $1.6 billion, which is what it is currently trading at right now. Well, it's at $1.55 billion. Bark received $427 million in cash proceeds, which will be used to expand the company's pet food, health, and product line. Now, my deal with SPAC mergers was that last year all SPAC mergers were getting really hyped, no matter what the company does or if they even had a product or a service to sell. Just because it was a SPAC merger, people would invest in it because it was easy money. And as I said with many of those mergers last year, it is not worth the risk and would have preferred BarkBox to go public through an IPO or something, as now SPACs suffer from that hype. Still, this is different in my opinion, as BarkBox is a well-known company founded 9 years ago. They have history, they know what they are doing, and actually have something to sell. Now, with all that said, let's talk about the company, their potential and opportunity in this industry. First of all, as of May 2021, they reported 1.8 million annual active subscriptions, which results in 250,000 customer contacts and over 200,000 leads that help Bark offer personalized service. Now, their fiscal year is a little bit weird as it ends in March, so for the 2021 fiscal year, they report a revenue of $333.9 million in direct to customers with a nice gross profit of 61.6%, then a revenue of $44.6 million for their commerce with a gross profit of 44.8%. Finally, reported a total revenue of $378.6 million with a nice revenue growth of a whopping 68.7% year over year, and a total gross profit of 59.6%, as they are a vertically integrated company and a very cost-efficient company. After all expenses, they reported a net loss of $31.39 million, which is almost the same as the previous year, which is actually nice because many would think that they seeing a growth of 68% in revenue. Many would expect their net loss to increase as well, but the net loss staying the same demonstrates that the company has tried to improve their management and manage of money and expenses throughout the year, as it was a net loss margin of 8.29% versus a net loss margin of 13.98% from the previous year. Until here, everything looks fine. But then on their balance sheet, The company ended 2021 fiscal year with $38.2 million in cash and cash equivalents in comparison to the $9.6 million the previous year. That's nice in my opinion. Total asset of $150.8 million, all the way up from $64 million, which until here, everything looks perfect. But then we see that their accounts payable is a little bit high and current liabilities of $122 million is high, but still have current ratio of 1.08, which is not bad. It is over 1. Not the best one ever, but it is still kind of healthy. The thing is that when we look a little and we go a little bit lower, we see that now they add up a long-term debt of $115 million. $115 million in long-term debt, which is why they have total liabilities of $249.8 million, which is huge in comparison to their assets. I mean, they had a larger debt than their cash and almost more than their current assets. I understand that this balance sheet is as of March 31st, and the merger was completed in June, which is when they received the $427 million in cash proceeds, and that will certainly help them a lot. But before the merger, this was their balance sheet, and it was not the healthiest one, which is something to keep an eye on, because even though their long-term debt was only $60 million in 2020, they still had way more liabilities than assets, as they had a short-term debt of $45 million, which was paid off. So yes, was not the best balance sheet before the merger for such a good and growth company. BarkBox did mention that 3 of their possible catalysts will be revenue growth because of new subscribers, new products, and the omni-channel expansion, which I will talk about that later on the video. Also, the gross margin because of mixed revenue, revenue per subscription, and average order value, as it has increased year over year, and cost efficiency from scale. Their last possible catalyst will be core adjusted EBITDA because of sales and marketing efficiencies, leverage in warehouse and fulfillment, and stable general administrative. When I talked about omni-channel, it's because they created selling opportunities and drives brand awareness, as they got into partnership with Target and Amazon back in 2018 to start selling their products and services there and create brand awareness to new customers. Then in 2021 and forward, they partner with Costco, Walmart, Dunkin' Donuts, Petco, PetSmart, CVS, Home Goods, and many more, which I think it is kind of nice, as they are entering into new markets and targeting way more people without the necessity of creating physical stores. They also partner with shelters across the US and Canada with an affiliate program, which I think it's nice because there are a lot of dogs on the streets, but that's another thing to talk about. They are expecting to report a net revenue of between $116 to $118 million for the next quarter, which will be a growth of 56%, and a total net revenue for 2022, which remember is from now until March 2022, of $516 million. That will be a growth of about 36 to 40%, and a net loss of $41 million. They provided some nice metrics comparing themselves with other companies within the industry, in which they said that Chewy is expected to grow 23.5%, Freshpet 33.9%, Trupanion 30%, while BarkBox with the high growth of 39.2% year over year. Now, the market opportunity is incredible, as the pets market has been growing and growing year over year, and no one is expecting it to slow down. It accelerated its growth during the pandemic as well. According to Euromonitor International, the size of the global pet care market surpassed $120 billion in 2019, with spending in the US growing to more than $50 billion. It is also important that while other industries have been transformed by online consumer-centric companies, the pet market is in the early stages of innovation, and BarkBox is actually taking advantage of it. Now, my thoughts on all this. First of all, I have to say that this seems to be an incredible service. I have never used it before, but have seen several of their reviews on YouTube, and people seem to like it, as they seem to save money using it. Because I do have a dog, and I know that a good dog toy could be worth between $10 to $30 per toy, depending on the size and everything. I'm not talking about a teddy bear that costs $1 and that can be shredded within minutes by a dog. I'm talking about a nice toy. Same with treats, which some of this that I'm showing here are not the best one, are not healthy at all, but still, with BarkBox, a dog owner pays $23 a month and gets all that and more. Second, their growth and expansion is certainly impressive, just like their brand awareness and social media presence as well, as they have over 1.7 million followers on Instagram and even more on Twitter and other social media. The only thing that makes me doubt is their balance sheet. I understand they now will have more cash because of the merger, but their balance sheet before the merger was not healthy at all, and that is something to keep in mind. Obviously, it is a company worth tracking because of their current valuation is $1.55 billion since it's already down 3.12% today, but would like to see them improving and proving themselves that they are able to manage the company without getting into that much debt, without even having the money available like they did last year, and as we saw in their balance sheet. Everything else looks incredible for me, but I do want to see their balance sheet improving from now on, and not only because of the merger. I'm not a Bark shareholder yet. I'm tracking it. I have it on my watch list, even though I have a lot of stocks in my watch list right now, but I will be patient. I know and understand it is a nice price right now here, and want to see their next quarter earnings and see if they are able to meet their own expectations and see the improvement in the balance sheet. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please smash that like button and subscribe, since it really helps the channel out. I have a completely free Discord group chat, which info that is down in the description below. Thank you and see you next time.